How you feel isn't all in your head. If you've been with me for a while, you've definitely heard me say that before. Your mind and how you feel mentally right now isn't all in your head. It's not all you, your mind. Welcome to your Daily Whisper. Kara Bradley here. I am all about the body-mind, my friend, and really passionate about helping women, now specifically women, understand that what you are perceiving in your life, whether it be clarity and joy and happiness, or doubt and fatigue and self-consciousness, isn't all in your head. Your body, your biology, your state of being physically is really dictating in many ways how you're thinking. We go on autopilot and we allow our body to communicate everything up to our mind if we're not conscious. What I want to talk to you about today specifically is this book I'm reading called Menopause and the Mind. It's written by Claire Warga, PhD, and you don't have to go out and buy it. I just want to summarize some things for you that may bring to light some of the things you may have been feeling or may be feeling right now. And I want to emphasize that it's not all in your head. For many years, for the last, I would say, 5 to 6 years, I have been really suffering with menopause brain fog in a way that took me down. I lost confidence in myself, in my capacity. I lost trust in myself, and I didn't know what was happening. I felt like I was losing my mind. I've come out of it. Probably in the last year and a half to 2 years, I have come out of it and now can see things so much more clearly and understand where I was. And I want to help you and teach you if this is where you may be. It's not all in your head. What Dr. Warga talks about in Menopause and the Mind, and I want to say and really emphasize, this book was written in 1999. 1999, over 20 years ago. And when I went to really dig into her current work or the work around her book, I can't find anything. What Dr. Warga found through her research is that there is this misconnect that happens in women's brains in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. In fact, she calls it the Warga's hormonal misconnection syndrome. Let me tell you a little bit about what she found. During our 40s, 50s, and 60s, ladies, sisters, because of the changes in estrogen and progesterone, which, by the way, is natural and normal, is not a bad thing, our body goes through this time where it is reconfiguring and rewiring itself, adapting to a new way of being a woman in the world. It's not a bad thing. But what happens during this time of adaptation is that there are a lot of misconnects that happen in our brain. And if we're not aware of them, which most of us are not, which I was not, we think there's something wrong with us, that we're lazy, not motivated, that we're old, that we can't be sharp and do the things that we used to do. So what this hormonal misconnection syndrome explores and explains is that there are thinking changes, real thinking changes, these misconnects that happen. Loss of thought, train of thought, forget why we came into the room, lack of focus, foggy, hazy, even like can't get the thought out into a word. There's also speech changes, naming difficulties, like forgetting your kids' names, loss for words. There's reversing words, relying on filler words such as like whatchamacallit, There's also changes in our ability to pay attention. We are listening but not really listening. We're blanking on what just happened, and we're also distracted. Inability to read, she said. And I found this 3 or 4 years ago. I used to read a book a week before that, and I just lost my capacity to pay attention to a book. There's more. There's behavioral changes. There are unintended slips of words, of forgetting to do things, of dropping things, of bumping into things, being absent-minded. There are memory changes, such as not being able to recall, like short-term memory, changes in spelling. I found this. I had to look up words. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't spell anymore. There's forgetting appointments, like an altered sense of time, for sure. I have relied on my Google Calendar so much more than ever. Like, it's got to be in my book or I forget about it. And spatial skills, just not remembering faces, not being able to comprehend things as easily, spending less time in that memory recall or spending more time trying to remember things. So I'm simply here to tell you today it's not all in your head. There is a rewiring situation happening for us in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. And when we can recognize, okay, there are misconnects happening, what can I do about them? First, we need to be aware. Right? We need to be aware. That's why I'm here, just to make you aware that this stuff is, I don't want to say normal, but it is a part of the process of adapting to being in a new body, in a new hormonal pattern. The other thing is that you can do something about it. Right? Knowledge is power, awareness is key, and once we know, now we can start to look into what can I do to improve memory, to improve mental energy, to improve mental performance. I have solutions for you. So some of them are resources, free resources. If you download my new menopause resources down there in the show notes, and others are getting our neurochemistry to work for our brain. There are natural resources, natural protocols that you've heard me talk about, gut-brain optimization. Again, check it out in the links in the show notes. And you can also just stick with me because I'm going to be talking a lot more about this. So lots of places to play with me, especially TikTok these days, where I am just having a 100% blast of a time. So, and I go live every day, by the way, to explore, to answer questions. And one last thing is, if you order one of my gut brain optimization protocols, you will get me. We will become BFFs, and I will get on a call with you. We'll talk through what's going on. I am here as your side-by-side coach. So it might be time for you to actually take the next step. I hope you do. Take care.